Fidelis Care offers quality, affordable health coverage for children and adults of all ages and at all stages of life. Quality health coverage, it's our mission. Call 1-888-FIDELIS or visit fideliscare.org. Hello everybody and welcome to the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Each and every week at this time, we're going to take a look at our local college sports programs. We'll begin this week with the honor roll of local college athletes, brought to you by M&T Bank. At M&T Bank, we're listening, learning, and working hard to understand what's important to Western New York. It's what we've been doing since 1856. M&T Bank, understanding what's important. At number 3, it's Matthew Leinert of the RIT track team. He set a new school mark in the 60-meter dash at the Tiger Invitational. His time of 7.05 seconds beat the mark set last year by teammate Marcus Hines. At number 2, it's Chelsea Hayward of Roberts Wesleyan. She continued her winning ways at the Tiger Invitational, taking first in the 60-meter and 200-meter dash. And topping the list, Mike Rotolo, the senior goalie for the RIT hockey team, had his 5th career shutout in a 5-0 win over AIC. Rotolo from Greece became the first goalie of the Division I era for RIT to total 2,000 career saves. Time now for our local college spotlight athlete of the week, brought to you by Ralph Honda. This week's athlete of the week brought to you by Ralph Honda, where they've been doing it right for 3 generations. Visit their new showroom or find your next car online at ralphhonda.com. The long jump might look simple, but it's a combination of technique and skill that makes it a hard event to master. And sophomore Erica Pawlewicz of St. John Fisher is only making it look easy. Here's Kim Burnson.
In an event like the long jump, the fight for a few extra inches means never taking a day off. It takes year-round training to not only beat the competition, but to put your name in the record books. St. John Fisher long jumper Erica Pawlewicz is well on her way to doing just that.
Track has always been a part of my life. I've been running it for forever. My dad is a coach for high school, so he's kind of brought me up to run. I don't know, I guess I'm just used to it by now.
She came from a small school. She had some great coaching, but sometimes, at the high school level, having been a high school coach myself, you don't have the staff to cover all the events like we do here. So, what we looked for was, somebody with a great work ethic, and that's Erica to a T.
Back in December, Erica shined in the RIT Early Season Invitational. She took first place with a jump of 5.29 meters, tying the previous school record set in 2015.
I hit 5 meters pretty consecutively, and I hadn't hit that until the end of the season last year. So I put in a lot of training over the summer and definitely during this preseason and everything. So it paid off. It wasn't expected, but I was okay with it.
I think last year she came in her very first meet. She jumped something like a 450 something, and to put that in the realm of meter, not going from meters to feet, that's 14, 15 feet. And just this past year, she went from very first meet jumping 14 feet to very first meet jumping 17.4 and breaking the school record.
Besides the workouts she does for track and field in the off-season, the dual sport athlete also plays volleyball for the Cardinals, something that has helped further her training.
So from volleyball coming into track, they do a lot of jumping, and that helps by giving her some type of plyometric base. So when we come into, for track, she won't deal with the shin splints as much as somebody else who maybe didn't do as much, in this off season. So
I'm 5'6", so I don't always make up for it height-wise. So I know that track is my off season for volleyball. Volleyball is my off season for track, so it's really a big cycle. It's just I'm always trying to stay in shape. Each sport's going to help me do better in the other sport.
As a former collegiate long jumper himself, assistant coach Wenley Lewis is someone who Erica works closely with as she strives to improve her technique.
So right now I'm trying to get her to be consistent at the level that she is, so that she can add these different elements of, being tall and, driving with her knees and using her arms, so she can start to stay at that level, but then add to it and continuously get better.
Coach Lewis is the most amazing coach I've ever had. He is so knowledgeable on everything track-wise, and I trust him. I trust that he means everything he says, and he knows best. I know that he only wants us to be successful. So
she has a very good shot at getting beyond ECA season, going to nationals, and actually doing something by her senior year, All-American hopefully.
Aside from her accomplishments on paper, Erica has also impressed coaches with her willingness to not only better herself, but her teammates as well.
She's young, but she's a natural leader already, and I saw this last year for her as a freshman. I think we had a situation here and there where I actually saw her take charge, even though she was taking charge when there's juniors and seniors on the team, and she was only a freshman. So,
right now she's less than a foot away from a mark that I think will get her to the national championship. So that's her goal right now. And again, for a jumper, sophomore jumper, that's a huge accomplishment if we can get her there.
I'm Kim Burnson with the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat.
When we return, JC DeLass welcomes Nazareth track and field coach James Goss into the Coach's Corner. And later on, Kim is back with our Scholar Athlete, brought to you by Dave. We've got that and more when the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat returns. As we head to break, here's a look at the Nazareth Athletes of the Week, brought to you by Nazareth College. As we come back from break, here's a look at the Geneseo Athletes of the Week, brought to you by SUNY Geneseo. Welcome back. Thanks once again for joining us on the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Each week, JC DeLass from WYSL Radio is going to help us get to know an area coach a little better with the Fidelis Care Coach's Corner. The Fidelis Care Coach's Corner is presented by Fidelis Care, quality health coverage. It's our mission.
This is JC DeLass with this week's Fidelis Care Coach's Corner, and our guest this week is James Goss. He's the head coach for track and field and cross country at Nazareth College. Coach, you're in your 6th season running the track and field and cross country programs here at Nazareth College. What's been the most difficult part about building up these winning programs?
Yeah, when I first got here, the obvious obstacle for us was no indoor facility. And being in Rochester, it makes it a little tough trying to get kids to commit to practicing at 6 in the morning in the gym, going in the pool, going outside for a lot of our distance runners. So really that's been the biggest hurdle. But we've managed to kind of create some different event training groups, and RIT's been nice enough to get some of our athletes over there twice a week. So we've made it work, but that's been the biggest challenge.
And you mentioned that challenge, and you're going to fix that. There's a big construction project coming up here, an indoor facility. Talk about how that will be a difference maker for you.
It allows us, more so than anything, to practice together as a team. So our team unity is always tested during the indoor season. With those different event groups going at different times, they really only get to see each other, when we travel for track meets. Now it becomes a showcase piece for us in recruiting. We can host high school events in this indoor facility. We can practice together as a team. We no longer have to battle the elements with a lot of our field events. It's just going to be a huge difference maker for us.
As a coach of track and field and cross country, are you teaching skills, or are you really fine-tuning what the kids already bring to the table?
In Division III, I think it's a little bit of both. So we will get kids that might have a very little background and might have their, no knock-on history teacher, but their history teacher might be their event coach, and they just, are doing it for some extra money. And we may get kids at some of the best programs in the country, like Fayetteville, Manlius, and Syracuse, where they've won 10 national titles. And then we're fine-tweaking some skills there. But it's a mixture of both, and I think our coaching staff really does a good job of identifying what it is that those kids need, whether it's just strength or some event work. But we do have both, and we do offer a wide variety of skill sets to help those kids along and improve and be the best they can in the 4 years they're here.
Is there a certain type of student athlete that you're looking for when you're recruiting for Nazareth College?
Yeah, Nazareth has some really unique majors that I think offer a great fit for our program with the therapies, occupational therapy, physical therapy. We have, 60 majors to choose from, but it's a really good academic school in Rochester, so we're really trying to broaden our base from Albany to Buffalo and then the Northeast as a whole. But we are definitely looking for kids that maybe are multi-sport athletes, solid academic kids that are over 90 GPAs. But multi-sport athletes throughout high school, maybe they don't specialize as much as you would think a track and cross-country athlete. So they're not burnt out and they still have some room to grow.
What advice do you have for high school athletes who are considering continuing their athletic career at the college level?
Just stay passionate about it. I think a lot of kids think that their development's over at the end of the high school, their high school career. And for us, we pride ourselves with really developing kids in those next 4 years. Most distance runners don't really achieve their peak until their mid to late 20s. Kids don't always know that, and even a lot of our, sprinters, jumpers, throwers that come in, they're going to gain a lot of strength. They're going to gain some more athleticism with us, and they're going to get a lot better. I think kids really think of, where they're at in high school and think they're not going to be able to improve anymore. And for us, we've had a lot of success developing those kids over their 4 years of college.
Thanks for joining us, Coach.
You bet.
And thank you for watching this week's Fidelis Care Coach's Corner.
Kim Burnson is up next with our scholar athlete, and later on, the Yellow Jackets women's basketball team takes center stage. We'll have that story and more when the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat returns. Before we go to break, here's a look at the RIT Athletes of the Week, brought to you by the Rochester Institute of Technology. As we come back from break, here's a look at the SUNY Brockport Athletes of the Week, brought to you by the College at Brockport.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat. I'm Kim Burnson. It's time now for our Scholar Athlete, brought to you by Dave, Digital Audiovisual Environments.
Where can you go to get expert advice and installation on TVs, sound systems, and automation for your home, car, or business? Come see Dave, Digital Audio Visual Environments. ComeSeeDave.com.
This week we honor University of Rochester's Callie Fisher as our Scholar Athlete. Aside from finishing top 10 in the Liberty League in goals, shots, and game-winning goals for the Yellow Jackets field hockey team, Callie was also the MVP of the D3 Senior All-Star Game. She was named to the Liberty League All-Academic Team and was selected as a third-team All-American. Honored for her academics and leadership on the field, this week Callie Fisher is our Scholar Athlete, brought to you by Dave, Digital Audiovisual Environments. Now with a look at our college calendar, here's Dave Yates.
Here's our local college calendar for the week ahead. Tuesday, the RIT basketball teams host William Smith and Hobart for a twin bill. The women versus William Smith at 6, and the men take on the Statesmen at 8. Also on Tuesday, Geneseo Hockey plays against Hobart at 7 at the Wilson Ice Arena. Wednesday, RIT Wrestling takes on Brockport in a big matchup. Also on Wednesday, the Roberts Wesleyan basketball teams battle St. Thomas Aquinas College. Thursday, Nazareth and St. John Fisher match up on the hardwood with the women at 6 and the men playing at 8. Friday, Brockport Hockey hosts SUNY Canton at 7 p.m. And finally on Saturday, the Brockport Track and Field Invitational starts at 10 a.m. and Nazareth, RIT, Fisher, and U of R will all be on hand at the Cirque. And now here's how some Section 5 alums are doing at colleges outside of Rochester. It's a segment we call Postcards from College. Antoine Anderson of Bishop Kearney returned to the Blue Cross Arena when St. Bonaventure hosted Fordham. The Rams came up short, but Anderson scored 13 in front of his hometown crowd. Scott Laseroff of Brighton is diving at Auburn University, recently finished third at the Tennessee Diving Invitational. Laseroff is coming off a strong year where he qualified for the Olympic trials. Carrie Stankaitis of HFL is in her senior year at Cornell and was part of a winning relay team in a dual meet win versus Columbia. Carrie holds the second best mark all time in the 100 free at Cornell. And Dana Watts continues her dominant sophomore season at AIC, scoring 20 points in just 23 minutes versus Franklin Pierce. Dana is averaging over 22 a game. Coming up next, it's our honor roll of teams, and later on, a look at the Yellow Jacket women's basketball team and the key to their success. We'll explain that when the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat returns. As we head to break, here's a look at the Roberts Wesleyan Athletes of the Week, brought to you by Roberts Wesleyan College. As we come back from break, here's a look at the St. John Fisher Athletes of the Week, brought to you by St. John Fisher College. Welcome back. Thanks once again for joining us on the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Here is our honor roll of local college teams, and we're going to start at number 3. It's Brockport Wrestling. They had a big day hosting and winning the Brockport Open. 4 first-place finishers for the Golden Eagles, and they placed in the top 3 in 9 of the 10 weight classes. At number 2, Geneseo Women's Basketball. They beat Fredonia 55-54 to stay unbeaten, thanks to a free throw by Webster's Kara Hoopert with just 5 seconds left on the clock. McKenna Brooks led the Knights with 14 points and 8 boards. And topping our list is the University of Rochester men's basketball team. They're now 13-0 after beating Chicago 88-82 behind an amazing game from senior Sam Borse-Smith. He put up 38 points, including shooting 7 of 8 from three-point land. And now it's time for our Spotlight Team of the Week. Staying at the U of R now, but we are checking in on the women's program to find out the keys to their 11-3 start this year.
Then just put the hand over here, then you come this way, she leads me. Okay? It's going to be 60 seconds. All right, here we go.
Success is something the Yellow Jacket women's basketball team is accustomed to. They have made it to the NCAA tournament in 7 of the last 10 seasons, including last year when they made it to the Elite 8. But head coach Jim Scheibel only had 1 senior returning, which might have been reason for concern. But with the start to the season they have had, safe to say that youth has been served.
We got a young team at spots. We're starting 2 freshman guards, which has some growing pains. But overall, we've got a very good inside game. We got an All-American in the middle and Al Leslie. She's doing a great job for us. But we have a lot of other pieces around her that are kind of coming into their own. So we're excited to kind of see where we go in league play.
It's a lot of freshmen playing in the starting line, which is an adjustment for us. But I think they're doing a very good job. And then overall, we just have a lot more energy. I feel like as a team, we struggle a little bit on defense, but I think our offense is carrying us and our defense is coming along, and that's what we need right now going into the UAAs.
Scoring points wasn't something this team had much to worry about, but when you have players new to the team and new to college basketball, keeping the other team from doing the same can be a struggle.
With a lot of young pieces in the mix, you're kind of learning to work together. So defensively, that shows up a lot, especially when we have an All-American in the middle that we can go to. Offensively, that kind of helps. But defensively, we're kind of still figuring it out how to work together.
The chemistry is crucial. I mean, you have to trust your teammates and know that they have your back and have you in help side. And if they don't, then you're less willing to move up and pressure up on defense. So once you have that cohesive unit, you really can flow and get things moving and get stops on defense, which flows your offense. So
the big reason this team doesn't have to worry much about scoring is the big presence that Leslie gives them. She's averaging over 20 points a game and already eclipsed the 1,000-point mark for her career. Everyone knows she's the main weapon for the Jackets, but that doesn't mean they can stop her.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with that is that it's frustrating when teams learn how to stop you, so it just kind of became a focus of mine to figure out multiple ways to score, and with the help of my team, that's very possible. I don't know, they're very good passers, very good feeders, and they're very aware of when there's a mismatch or stuff like that, so it becomes very easy to score down low when you have teammates like that.
Everything that you see Leslie doing on the court is only the tip of the iceberg. Her role on the team is much bigger than her scoring and rebounding.
she is our heart and soul. She runs our team. She's our energy. she's our leading scorer. But she also just motivates people on and off the court. She's a great role model, and we'd be lost without her. So
Elle is just an awesome presence on the court. She is pretty much our rock. Like, we always know that we can count on her. She's a great teammate. She's very unselfish, even though she scores like upwards of 20 points a game. But we can always count on her, and she's good at passing and leading, and off the court too. She's always a leader, so that's what we needed on our team. And with one senior on the court, it's hard to have that leadership, but we can count on Elle always.
Now is the time when that leadership is really needed. The University Athletic Conference is one of the toughest in the country, and a young team has to be ready to go every night.
This is what we wait the entire season for. We work so hard in preseason, and we play a lot of good competition in preseason, but ultimately the UAA is what we come to play for. So I just feel like this year we've had a large freshman class, so just like getting acclimated and getting everyone on board. And
League is very strong this year. It's probably one of the strongest leagues I've seen in a long time, and that's saying something because it's usually one of the top 1 or 2 leagues in the country. I don't think of a league that can match what we have from top to bottom this year. There's really no weak teams. So overall, the way we're looking at it is we're running a gauntlet. We got 13 more games against very good teams, night in and night out. It's going to be a challenge.
Right? Just run it hard because I want you to get some repetitions at the one.
Well, thanks everybody for watching.
And a special thanks to our sponsors, including Fidelis Care, for making the College Sports Beat possible.
We'll see you back here next week.